Hello and welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling Builds. Today we're going to go over Zur in 2022. Zur is a Esper commander that is near and dear to my heart. Probably my favorite commander deck. The first one I started playing with so many years ago. And probably the last one that I'll part with if I ever trade in cash in my collection. So there are many different ways to build Zur, and I've tried them all. And I'm going to be really honest with you. If you run Zur any other way that doesn't include him coming out, swinging, cheating in necropotence, right? If your deck doesn't involve that, then you're wasting your time. You have people with fucking anime fantasies wanting to build like a Zur Voltron deck, a Zur Stacks deck, and I'm being 100% serious. Like you're out of your fucking mind if you think Zur is going to be on board long enough where you're going to get multiple combats in to do such things. Like you're out of your fucking mind. Zur does one thing better than any other general, and that's tutor in necropotence, swinging, and then cheating in necropotence, and then drawing a shit ton of cards. A shit ton, right? So that means like this is like turn 2, turn 3 Zurs, right? Because you want to have like 30, you want to draw like 30, 36 cards with necropotence. If you're swinging and getting a fucking ghostly prison or rest in peace or assembling Voltron so your Zur looks like Megazord, like what are you doing? What are you doing? Zur's just one of those generals that as soon as before the game even starts, when people are rolling dice, they already know that they got to hold up spot removal for Zur. So not there's that too, right? So not only do you have to land the Zur, you got to hold up counter magic to protect your Zur long enough for him to swing. So, you're humping your Dakimakura too much if you think your Zur is going to be swinging like 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Let's get into the deck. So this is post Neon Dynasty. I got a couple of the Neon Dynasty cards that I thought would be cute in Zur, and I tried and tested them. They don't work. They don't work. Actually, we'll show that now. So the reality chip, you think it's like a cute in Zur, but the thing is, the likelihood of you landing the reality chip and reconfiguring it before the Zur comes out and swings is very unlikely. Very unlikely. And then you might say to yourself, oh, but Tuna, I'm running Shimmer Zur, so it's going to come out with Flash. Okay, dipshit, but you can't reconfigure at instant speed. So, reality chip doesn't make the cut. It has beautiful synergy with cards that are already in the deck, like cost reducers and Sensei Sop. It doesn't fit in this deck. And I will showcase a deck where I could to discussing things with reality chip, but it's just not this deck. Another card from Neon Dynasty that I thought would be very cute is Otawara. The 3 in a blue, or with Zur out, the 2 in a blue, or with your anime fantasy of reality chip being out, so 1 in a blue. It's just too much. It's not worth it. It doesn't happen enough. Like there's other like simple spot removal, like a Chain of Vapor or Winds of Rebuke, or even a not overloaded Cyclonic Rift. They get the job done. It's fine. You know, the Otawada is a beautiful card. It's a great card. Just I don't think it fits in Zur. Some other notable exclusions before we get into the deck. We have Grand Abolisher. Landing a Grand Abolisher early is wonderful, especially in a glass cannon deck like Zur, where I'll probably be winning like turn 3. But finding the double white for Grand Abolisher is so difficult. So difficult. Even in a low 3-color deck, it's just so difficult. Because once you're off to the races, right? Once you're doing your Necropotence thing, this is a Shimmer Zur deck. Let's make that clear. You're winning in your end step, and so there's no time to. You're just better off casting the silence as you're going off. So the Grand Abolisher just doesn't, unfortunately, work for me. Another exclusion is Aetherflux Reservoir. I just don't like the card anymore. I think it's a little outdated for me. I guess you could land it early, and as you're storming off, you could gain some life, and it can help you to exile the top of your Necropotence. Use the Necropotence to exile the top of your deck to just kind of thin the deck out. You're not going to get those cards, but it's a thing. It's a win con, right? Once you find all the combo pieces that we'll get into, and then just drop the Aetherflux at instant speed and just pew pew. It's for me, they're better cards out there. Some cards that could have been cute. Oswald Fiddlebender. I picked this up at launch, and I don't know why it took me so long to realize this doesn't work in a Zur deck. Your whatever it's called. You're tutoring up things that are, there's a lot of 2-drop rocks. I don't think there are 3-drop rocks in here. So and there are few 1-drop rocks, and those 1-drop rocks are really important, like your soul rings and your mana crypts, mana vaults. So you need it on board. It helps with like a Isochron Scepter combos. So you're not going to pitch them for a 2, and you're not going to pitch a 2 for 3 because I don't think there are any important 3s in this deck. Finally, another card is a Counterbalance. A lot of people are adding Counterbalance to their decks. Whatever. But for me, and I have the pieces right that synergize well with Counterbalance. There's a Necropotence where you could just manipulate your top deck. There's the Sensei's Top, which manipulate your top deck. There's Bolsa's Citadel, which all manipulate your top deck. And it could go back in the deck. If it's a pod, maybe, where Zur might have to shift to a really bad, grindy control deck, right? So Counterbalance is maybe more of a flex slot. Zur could just cheat it in real quickly, no problem, and you already have the cards in the deck that are going to be in the deck regardless that synergize well with the Counterbalance. Let me see anything else really quickly. I'm going over this first because Zur is just that much my favorite deck. So this might be a lengthier video. I might be really harsh criticisms with other people's fun builds, but but I'm being serious when I make these criticisms. So you gotta believe me. I've run Zur for a very, very, very long time. You could probably find those deck lists the links are on MySpace, right? I don't know if these Angel Fire pages are still up, if you catch my drift. Okay, so you have Zur, the Enchanter, and the stupid Edgelord Judge promo. And of course, Zur wants to come in as soon as possible and swing and cheat in Necropotence. It's important that that happens as soon as possible because you're gonna ping yourself for 30 to maybe 36 points of life. So there's no time to scratch your balls and get bad enchantments that do a narrow thing. Because once we get a shit ton of cards in our hand, in our end step, right, that's when you get the cards with your Necropoints. You're going to flash in Shimmer Mirror. Shimmer Mirror lets you cast artifacts as though they had flash. Now, I think there's like some other legendary dude, Ral, Ship's Mage, or some shit from Dominaria. I guess he's a crew member on the Weatherlight, who is 2 white and blue, and he's flash, and he lets you cast historics with flash. So if you're like on a budget, maybe having 2 Shimmer Mirrors in the deck is not so bad. I think I tinkered with Ral and immediately hated it. But there's other cards in here that are very budget friendly that like no one talks about that will help you dig deeper into the deck. I just realized another card that could be in the deck, but I think that it's not super amazing. Is a Scroll Rack, and we'll talk about Scroll Rack once we talk about another card. Of course, we're in these colors, so we have Thoracle because it's just so easy. It's so easy, so easy. But Tuna, what's up? If you're winning at your end phase, how are you going to win with the Thoracle? Right? Oh, that's a good question. I wish we could give it a flash or something. Oh, we can. We can give it flash. So you have a Scout's Warning, single white. The next creature card you play this turn can be played as though it had flash. Boom. 1 extra white, and now you have a Thoracle at your end step. Congratulations. You won. And it lets you draw a card. In this deck, there's certain things that need to be done. It's so important. There's some cards that, would be like bad cards in other decks, or maybe old, outdated cards for other decks because just so many more things came out. But there's one thing you need to have access to in this deck, and that's instant speed, instant speed, instant speed. We'll talk about it as we come across them. There are practically no creatures in this deck, so you could just play this early just to dig deeper. The next card probably will be Thoracle. Isochron Scepter, Dramatic Reversal. In the deck, cast all our artifacts as though they had flash. And then you have your isorev ready to go. You can start playing other things in your hand to go deeper and deeper and deeper into your combo. The infinite untaps and taps, untaps and taps is really nice. If you have a top out, draw the rest of your deck, find your combo. Yeah, we'll talk about these things as we get deeper. So you have your top. Top is top. Top is great. Still a good card, right? Oldie but goodie. And yeah, that's the deal with top. You, if you have your dramatic scepter set up, you could draw your deck quickly, no problem, and find the rest of your deck. Or if you land top early game, you can help manipulate your top deck so that you could land your Zur just a little bit earlier. So that's good stuff. Bowls of Citadel is another recent card. Is it recent, or am I just a boomer? I don't know when War, no, Jesus Christ, War is like 2 years ago, 3 years. Oh my God. But yeah, Bowls of Citadel, amazing card, amazing card. It's a little bit pricey, but it is an artifact that you could flash in with your Shimmer Mirror, and that in itself is very, very, very good, because you could go deeper, yeah, into your deck. Because 36 cards from the Necropotence, it might not be enough. 36 cards with your Necropotence might not even be enough to find your Shimmer Mirror. So keep that in mind. This is why being able to play at instant speed is important. The instant speed cantrips, the instant speed tutors, very important, very important. Sorcery speed, not good. Of course, with just the Sensei's Top and the Citadel alone, it becomes like a very clunky, convoluted ad nauseum, but that's fine. There are cost reducers in this deck, so that make you just draw your deck for free. And if you're on a budget, you could have the Aetherflux Reservoir to the mix. So even if you have to win through like a Drowned Magistrate or something like that doesn't let you cast a Zur, you can still tutor up all these pieces without a problem and win like that. Both Citadel, Aetherflux Reservoir, and your top. Codex Shredder. Codex Shredder is a really good card. Really good card. If you're under a, I know it's retro WinCon, but in Zur that's no problem. Zur's like really cool because he's like a throwback to like old Magic, old Commander. But Codex Shredder, you just have your infinite taps and untaps. You can mill out all your opponents. And if you land it early, you could manipulate top decks. So if they have instant speed tutors, like your Ice Crown, your Enlightened, Mystical, Demonic, Vampiric, you could send that away. So there is some utility with the Codex Shredder. If you, that's another win con in this deck. We saw earlier we had the Scout's Warning. The next card you play, next creature is a flash. There's another card like that called Quicken. The next card you play, next sorcery you play can be played at instant speed. Draw a card. So we could do weird things like mill each opponent, and then like Windfall, right? This is all during our end step, of course. Or you just mill everybody and stick around. Now, hey Tuna, what if my opponent, their little brother, gave them all the Titans before they went to the army, or they have the Titan in their deck because they pulled it in a pack and it's very special. They put it in every deck, even if it makes no sense. So that's a good question. What happens then is it's not an easy solution. You have to do timetwister loops, okay? And so we're under a Isochron Scepter Dramatic Reversal, and we have the Sensei's Top on the field, so we can have infinite mana and draw our deck over and over and over again. You have the Timetwister, okay? And so with the Timetwister in the grave, you use this thing's second ability to get it back. So this is a Timetwister loop, and it lets us like draw the deck, play the deck, draw the deck, play the deck. The card we're going to play over and over again is a Swan Song. We're going to cast a, whatever, and counter our own card with Swan Song, and it will give us an infinite army of 3/3 birds, which then we can climb over the Ulamog or the Gaia's Blessing deck. Is whack, right? I know. Moving on to our counters package. It's a presentation is going to be in a slightly different order for certain reasons. We have silence. Silence is the best counter, right? Just shut off your opponents before they even think about casting their cancels or whatever. Spell Pierce, Dispel, Flusterstorm, Miscast, Swan, Song of Reno, a Mental Misstep. Fierce Guardianship. Zur will be on board, so you can cast your Fierce Guardianship and get value out of it. Pact of Negation and Force of Will. Yeah, we're faster than most of our opponents. We should be, unless you're going to play Zur stacks for no reason. So the teeny tiny, Spell Pierce and miscast cards are very strong. Our removal package, very, very small, very narrow. Train of Vapor, Winds of Rebuke. Oh, there's another combo. We could do Winds of Rebuke infinitely. If we're doing timetwister loops, just to mill people. If we don't have our... Oh, no, you still need your... You would still need your Codex Shredder. So I'm wrong. Cyclonic Rift. And a Toxic Deluge, just in case things get hairy. Which could happen, right? You could have the opponent that's faster than you could thought that you had a nutty hand, and then it's just garbage. And so you're playing a little bit slower than you would have wanted to. Our Ritual package, very important. I wanted to put Sacrifice in the deck, because it turns Zur into a Call in the Weak, pretty much. I just couldn't fit it. If I had the slot, I would put Sacrifice. Don't judge me. This is a Sharpie. So sacrifice one of your creatures, add black mana to its CMC. So yeah, I just can't squeeze it in. So we have Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Call in the Weak, and the Rain of Filth. Very, very important. The Rain of Filth actually is the clutchiest of clutch. Our draw package. We have very important to be able to dig into your deck. A lot of people are weird. Oh my god. Oh, story time. Some of these deck builders, I don't know what they're on. People look up to them like they're godlike prodigies. It's really bad. Really bad. Like, this shit doesn't make sense. It's like they never ran the deck. I saw something about a Tasigur deck, and everyone looks to a certain deck builder's deck. And it's like they don't know the first fucking thing about Tasigur or something. It's like a combination of like this Neoform special summon to boss monsters and like a hard control deck. But Tasigur doesn't work that way. It's either or. You can't do both. You have to pick one or the other. You have to pick one where the Tasigur comes out like turn 2 and you Neoform it into a boss monster, or you bring out Tasigur and are grinding value of Tasigur. What I mean is that if you're running fast Tasigur to Neoform, you got to run the cheap cantrips. You need delve targets, for fuck's sake. So, you need delve fodder. And everything in the deck was like 2-drop, 3-drop sorceries. And it's like, well, huh? What? And this is everyone admires this person, so it's none of my business, whatever. But cheap cantrips are important. If you get stuck, you got to be able to just dig, just chip away at your deck and find combo pieces. So we have a Gitaxian Probe, Ponder, OG Ponder, OG Preordain, OG Brainstorm, and Frantic Search. I know you haven't seen this card in 6 years. It was on vacation. It came back. You need your instant speed draw spells. You need your instant speed draw spells, especially if you're trying to win on your end step. Because at the turn, you just paid 36 life. The turn ain't coming back to you. So you need to be able to quicken and tutor up. Quicken, demonic tutor, the missing piece and draw into it. Okay? Oh, quicken. Quicken, next sorcery spell plays at instant speed. Draw a card. The other draws, we have a Windfall, Timetwister, Peer into the Abyss, Ad Nauseam, and another card from 1984. We have Angel's Grace. It can do two things. It could cuck the one person from going off, or we could just simply have dug into it. You know, there'll be a couple of situations where you're missing like one or two pieces to just secure the win, but you have all these other cards in your hand. You have your infinite mana, or you have the black mana from rituals. You just gotta dig a little deeper, and unfortunately, you're all out of life points. So the Angel's Grace, really helps with that. Believe me. It might be a dead card in other decks, where you could just cast an Ad Naus and just get really good value, but in this deck, you're just trying to draw everything. Okay, you're trying to draw everything. With that said, you're gonna whiff sometimes. Your necropotence, you're gonna whiff on your necropotence. It will happen. Okay, it's gonna happen. And so what do? You cry because your glass cannon fell apart? No. You're gonna hit something like this Ancient Excavation. Okay, Ancient Excavation at its worst is basic land cycling, but at its best, it helps you dig just enough to secure that win 100%. Okay, no one talks about this card. It's not on anyone's radar. When was it printed? I don't know. Commander 20, oh my god, 2016. It lets you dig even deeper. It is the crutchiest crutch card. It's no, not crutch, clutchiest clutch card. It's a scroll rack in a bottle. Okay. Now the reason why I cut scroll rack is because it's not good enough anymore. Because like cards like Ancient Excavation exist. You might not find the scroll rack with your necropotence. No. You might not find the Shimmer Mirror with your necropotence for whatever reason. Even you might not even find the Enlightened Tutor or the Vampiric Tutor and the instant speed draw card to get it for whatever reason. So this scroll rack that you dug into with your necropotence is dead card. Okay, so you don't get a second chance. This is your second chance. This is the most important card on the deck. I promise you. Enlightened Tutor. Sorry, Tutors package. Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Vampiric Tutor. All of our instant speed tutors. Limdal's Vault. Yes. You paid 30 life for your necropotence. Okay. You whiffed. Okay. But you can still just a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. 1 life here, 2 life there, 3 life there, and you're good. You're good. Okay. Instant speed tutor is so important. Merchant Scroll. A couple of cards that are important with your Merchant Scroll. An emergency back pocket Cyclonic Rift. The Ancient Excavation, which I just went on about. Dramatic Reversal, because you found the combo before Zerk could come out. So the Merchant Scroll makes a cut. Even Fabricate makes a cut too. You have a late Zur, plenty of mana, right? Your necropotence is going to be a little on the weaker side, so just tutor up the Shimmer Mirror, because your necropotence is going to be like maybe for 20, 15, right? The longer the longer the clock, the more shit your necropotence becomes. Okay. Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, Praetor's Grasp, still really good card. Get the other half of your combo from your opponents. Get the emergency back pocket board wipes from your opponents. The creature package, very tiny creature package. Just things that draw. We have Esper Sentinel, Bob, lets us draw. Right, you land a turn 1 Bob, you're gooch, you're fine. And then Ethereum Sculptor, cost reducer, and an artifact. So comes out with Shimmer Mirror. It just helps a lot. It has to go on the deck. It has to. And then some enchantments. We'll hard cast them. We're not looking for them when Zur just wants to find necropotence. But we have a Mystical Tutor, Mystic Study, and another really important card, Grasp of Fate. It OV rings your opponents, each one of them, for a thing. This is just good to have in your back pocket. If for whatever reason you can't do what you need to do, the Zur will swing and just remove those problem pieces from the board, hopefully, and then the next turn you could combo off. So Grasp of Fate in your back pocket is always important. I know there's a new card from Neon Dynasty. I don't like it, but I don't like it better than Grasp of Fate. I like Grasp of Fate better. It's some white artifact, white enchantment. I can't think of it anymore right now. And it has that stupid mechanic. What's this mechanic called? Channel. I'm not crazy about it. Wrapping things up, we have our artifacts, right? So we have our utilities, right? We have a Wishclaw and a Helm of Awakening. We have our rocks. We have Jeweled Lotus, Lotus Petal, Talisman of Progress, Talisman of Dominance. I don't need the black-white one. It's fine. Felwar Stone, Arcane Signet, Chromox, Mox Opal, Mox Diamond. Sometimes, because I still make this mistake, sometimes you will Ancient Excavation to draw like another 30 cards. You're going to discard 30 cards, and immediately you're going to discard all your lands. But just keep one land in your hand, just in case you find your Mox Diamond, and you can cast your Mox Diamond with Flash. Grim Tutor, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt. And then our lands. Very simple. We have all 9 fetches. We have no plains. But we have an island, snow island, swamp, snow swamp. Okay. We have the shock and the duel. The shock and the duel. The shock and the duel for all 3, even though white is pretty weak in this deck. If you really insist on jamming a Grand Abolisher in your deck, right? If it's that important to you, then by all means, cut this island, snow island, swamp, snow swamp for just 1 of each land. And that free slot could be your Otawara or something else, maybe Urza's Saga or whatever. But the pips are really important for me. I did all these, I've goldfished all these different variants. I've played in real life all these different variants. Zur's not new to me. We have Emergence Zone. Emergence Zone is really whack because it doesn't tap for color. But if you land your Emergence Zone really early before you go off, it takes a lot of stress off your mind, right? Now you have instant speed access to your sorcery speed tutors. You know, it's good. It's good if you land it early, and because it's so powerful, if you land it early, even though it doesn't make color, it still stays in the deck. Okay. Ancient Tomb, and then the rest are multicolor lands. Gemstone Cavern, I would love to just pitch it to Mox Diamond if I needed to. Command Tower, Forbidden Orchard, I don't give a shit about giving my opponents things. Exotic Orchard, wearing the most popular colors in the format. Spire of Industry, because I have tons of artifacts. Mana Confluence, and a City of Brasserino. And that is this long, comprehensive, shitting on casual Xur deck presentation. Yeah, I've played Xur 100 years. I know the intricacies of the deck. I know, you know, I know what a waste of time other builds are. I've ran the Doomsday build. That's still viable, I guess. But because like Thassa's Oracle is a thing, you can't do like the Gush things, right? Gush becomes a worse card. And Gush is important for your Doomsday pile. So LED is a dead card in the Gush pile. Oh, but with Thassa's Oracle, you don't even need. You have totally different Doomsday stacks. So that's something you could look up. I just don't like Doomsday in this deck anymore right now. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Coming up next, I'm going to run a reality chip in a very, very hard control deck. I'm going to bring back, Circu Lantern Control in 2022. It's got a lot of new toys. We're going to feature it. It's going to be great. That's another one of my all-time favorites. In fact, we'll do a series of all my all-time favorites, right? If you're curious to know who they are, it's Xur, Tasigur, Kess, Circu, and I guess number 5, I don't know, some sort of Mardu farm deck. Anyway, thanks so much. Catch you later. Goodbye.